check your fortune.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the StarLadder StarSeries Season 14. We've got a little bit of a mix-up here now, as somehow GreyFace just took a map off of Titan back over on Train. So now we're going to go on to our third map here, which is Overpass. Knife round just being concluded, of course. Not really sure who won it, but looks like we are going to see them staying on their side. So GreyFace will be starting off over here on the CT side, and Titan is going to pick things up from their T side. So here we go, folks. Live on 3. Let's get into it, and let's conclude this set. Let's figure out who the hell is going to win it here, as GreyFace once again has surprised us today by picking up a map off of Titan. We'll see if they can do it 2 times in a row here and win this set 2-1, upsetting against Titan, or if Titan are going to be able to pierce through, make up for that last one, and especially if their fill-in is going to be able to shine for them once again. I mean, that's the most ironic thing about it, is obviously, again, the team dynamics aren't really there with Smith not being on the roster, but the fact that Younes comes in, and I imagine, like, everybody's going to initially blame, like, oh, they don't have Smith, so of course they're going to lose that map, but Younes was actually doing one of the best of that entire team. Look at least coming off of the first half, Younes was going absolutely crazy for his team, so can't really blame him. He was doing a pretty good job. But starting off in this round, shox is going to pick up the first shot over here on the Jumpy, shuts him down. The rest has worked their way in. KwyTTEN's going to be able to hold things back over here by construction for the time being, as he now finds that trade. But shox finding pretty much everybody here on GreyFace, works through it. Is actually going to hold GreyFace back a little bit, but they'll pop back out. They're looking for shox. They're going to pick him up. Looking for more as RpK picks down pauf, and in the meantime, Younes is kind of investigating things back over here in the tunnels. There's nothing there, though. It's all going to be coming back in from the other side and their tank angles. So KwyTTEN's going to work back in, looking for Scream to see if he can shut him down. BARBARR in the meantime picked up a kill. Kaboom finding one as well. And now as they work their way back in here, Younes is going to be the final player alive. He drops down, going to try to stop the diffuser, but as well he comes in, finds BARBARR, finds a second one. Now he's going to try to execute KwyTTEN, and he's going to be able to do it. So the fill-in Younes clutches it out for Titan, and they're going to pick up the pistol round. And there we go. Titan starts it off very well right from the get-go. They pick up the first round. And GreyFace have to be very upset about that one, as obviously, again, his teammates do a good job of lighting up the damage for him, but obviously he comes in to finish things off. He picks up those final 2 or 3 shots that are needed in order to clutch it, and GreyFace now, they lose a very large opportunity to start things off very well for themselves, especially over here on CT side too. So now Titan, if they don't respond here in the second round, they do take it a little bit more heavily than they did in the last one. As you can see, they actually go for armor behind their pistol vibes this time, with the exception of BARBARR. He's looking to save up for that op, I do imagine. But they go a little bit heavier on it this time, and the big thing is that now Titan, again, this is another map where you really only expect the T's to pick up somewhere around like 6-7 rounds around their best case scenario, maybe sometimes even like 5 rounds for them over here on Overpass. So with them being given this opportunity, you know, that's 3 or potentially 4 of them if they get the gun round for free essentially now. So that's going to be a great start for these guys, and overall it builds a very good scoreline if GreyFace aren't going to be able to respond to it here on the second round. And as we get started for it, they have a heavy presence back over here up on the A side, expecting the push is going to come in from there. Big mistake, as now nobody's on that B site at all. So they're going to start to rotate their way back down here. Jumpy's the only one that's even close to it, but he's playing from within the sewers at this point. Köhler even finding a little bit of heat there as he takes on shox, but shox is definitely going to win that trade. He has to fall back a little more. And for the members of GreyFace now, they'll have to, what the hell, Kévin? They're going to have to look for another way here to try and do some damage this time, but it won't be through the retake, obviously. The members of Titan will just be pushing into these players. pauf, at the very least, is going to catch RpK out, as we do see Titan getting a little bit over-aggressive this time, and pauf looking for the shots over here on the Younes. He does dink him down to 21 HP, but in the meantime, they're actually holding their ground here at this point. Scream finally picking up 1 kill over here for the T's as he touched down pauf, and now as well, we're going to see Jumpy creeping back out, too, to try to catch the exits, and they haven't even seen him as of yet, but he's out in the open. Doesn't even matter. Picks up 1 headshot. Younes is able to manage himself, but now he's a little close to the bomb explosion. Thankfully, he survives it just barely. He's going to have 6 HP at the end of the trade, but still manages to keep himself going, and they pick up the 2 AKs for Titan as well. So not a whole lot being lost that time. They lose a couple of the SMGs and whatnot, but that's not too much off of their shoulder. They're still looking very good. And the big thing for GreyFace now is that they keep quite a few of their own players alive, and they're going to be able to scavenge a Mach 10 out of this play. KwyTTEN as well, still rolling with the scout, so actually saved quite a bit, and this next probably isn't going to look as drastic as it would if had Titan just run over them, essentially. If they'd gone directly into their presence as we would have expected. But KwyTTEN tries to pick up an opening shot, however, Younes will do a very quick job of stopping that from happening. The rest of GreyFace is pushing in through the long A at this point, and they're going to be able to pick up an opening kill. Youns will respond to a little bit more damage, as you can see, but they actually have to fall back, and no, they won't be able to get away. Jumpy's going to stop that from happening, and he's going to be able to shut down Younes before he can get himself out of harm's way. So a good opener comes out for the members of GreyFace, and the rest of the Titan are actually a little bit scared to push into the B side at this point, as they've got to try to hold things. shox, in the meantime, rotated back over here to the A plot, and now they're starting to execute things, bringing it down to just BARBARR with that Mach 10. No armor buy-up behind this as well, so he's going to be looking a little bit desperate at this point, and Titan should be able to easily just just hunt him down, and if not, get the plant, exasperate the timer, and they'll get their 3rd point. So a good start from GreyFace, and overall some good damage coming out onto them, but just not enough in order to clutch out the round, unfortunately. So Titan will still be sitting 3-0 as we head into the first gun round. And once again, just for clarity reasons, in case anybody is curious on this, as I imagine some of you may be jumping in and out as the set goes through, Younes is currently a fill-in at the moment for Titan. They don't have Smiths with them, I believe, due to a travel issue that has been affecting them at this point. I don't know if they're currently on their way to the major or whatnot, or if they're trying to get into the boot camp or something like that, but Smiths was not able to join these guys today. So they've brought in Younes, who is in the opera for Team Platinum, which if I remember correctly, I think it's not a French team. He's from Belgium specifically, but he does play for the Platinum team, which I don't know too much about, obviously, as I mainly cast North American games. But anyway, Titan now up 3-0. Younes has been doing a fine job, so you guys don't need to worry about him too much. And now as we go into the first gun round here, see if he's actually going to get a little bit aggressive. I'll have a 1-for-1 trade at the beginning of it, as Existence will be able to take down Skytten. And the response coming back out from Jumpy there to shut down Existence. Now for GreyFace at this point. They're going to try to work their way. Not really deciding on a site just as of yet. Titan here trying to push their way up over onto the B site too, but they take a couple shots. Not really going to connect anything, but at the same time, the response here from GreyFace isn't going to be so strong either. They don't hit anything. A good nade comes out here, and is going to connect some more damage back over on a Jumpy. But while all this sort of distraction is happening back down at the lower site, the big push is happening now for the T's, as they're going to push their way through bathroom. BARBARR is going to be able to jump out. He finds the op shot. Younes will catch the trade on a pauf, but now Younes has to rotate around once again. He's actually completely caught BARBARR off guard and has got him behind him now, so BARBARR is trying to figure out where the hell exactly Younes has gone. And as he works his way back up onto this, he's going to catch another kill here too. Shuts down shox. Now he's just going to look for this final one over here onto Younes himself, and he's going to find it. Shuts down Younes. This opper from the CT side, BARBARR going absolutely crazy. And now it's just Scream. And although this push was looking great before, now the bomb is on the floor. They've got no way to reclaim it. Currently, Scream's just going to have to go right for it. And there's 2 players sitting behind his back. All they've got to do is choke in on him, and they're going to be able to execute. Might be able to spot Jumpy, but Jumpy finds him first. As the damage comes off on a Scream, Kaboom's going to be able to pop out of the bank and shut him down. And there's the first round. Going onto the board for the members of GreyFace now. And Titan should be able to go for another buy through this. Shoxing at 8.5k, so I imagine he can drop for a Scream or anybody else that's a little bit lower. And we'll go into, will probably be their last buy round, is with him having to donate these guns back out. It's not going to leave him with a whole lot of cash. Potentially a Tech 9 still for Younes as well, as he has to just go for a very minimal upgrade, and that's going to be the case as he just picks up a P250, so not really all that much here coming up for him. The rest of the team still armed to the teeth for the most part. RpK, unfortunately, not with a whole lot of utility, but very quickly here, we're going to get ourselves into combat. pauf, very close encounter with RpK in Existence here. Toss back out, that nade's going to do some damage, and pauf spraying it down. A little messy, but he's able to execute, and now BARBARR again with that op, catching one at the top of party. Going to finish off Scream, looking for Younes as well, and he's going to find it. And unfortunately for Titan, not a whole lot of utility being used, or at the very least, not a whole lot of utility being used successfully. They just try to dry push themselves into these angles, but because of how aggressive GreyFace have been being, they've been able to very easily shut down a lot of these players. So, not a whole lot being made here this time from Titan. More than likely just going to lose themselves out very quickly this time around. Still stuck, sort of separated these final 2 players are. And the bomb as well, down over here in party at this point. So Existence wants to look for a way to try to reclaim that. He's going to press himself forward, but obviously here, you can take a look at BARBARR, and he's watching out for exactly this sort of push over towards the A site. Not proactively watching the bomb, I should mention at this point. So at the very least, Existence should be able to grab that. That's a great flash shoot to force BARBARR back a little bit more here, but it is going to reveal the fact that they've sent somebody. They've gone to pick this one back up, and now they're going to look to regroup back down over towards B, as it'll be shox mainly to try to make a push into this site here. Creeping in. They don't expect him as of yet, but they've already got angles trained on him, so the second he pops his head up, he might be a dead man. Got Skytten just over to his left at this point, but look, he's actually snuck his way all the way in. There comes a headshot now. There's a response coming in from heaven, but he catches that one too. Is going to be able to swipe by, and Kaboom is going to kill himself essentially there as he walks into the spray pattern. Existence goes for the plant, and unfortunately, shox kind of leaves Existence out to dry there. So now he's going to pop back up, and thankfully for Skytten, he's able to manage that situation very well. I'm guessing shox never actually spotted Skytten, and that's the reason he never took a shot at him. But he does kind of leave Existence out there in the open. He's going to be a dead man, and from that point forward, it's cleanup duty for the members of GreyFace. So there's a second point coming out on the board for them now. They're going to be able to pick this one up. And for Titan, now they're going to be broken for the most part here. They're going to have to go into a save round. RpK not buying anything at all. Existence is still able to work for an AK, but that's all they're really going to have this time. And now for GreyFace, they've stacked up everything they need. They've got the double op set up, and BARBARR finds one, but shox is going to run right into his face there in order to take him down. So it'll be traded. And op does fall into the hands of shox, but pauf picking up another kill to trade that back. shox finding the trade for the trade as he shuts down pauf. Now this will put things into a 3-on-3 situation here with GreyFace. Still stuck mainly down over here towards the B side, looking for a rotate. Kaboom, doing some great work though. Shuts out two of the 3 final players, and now it's just shox. He's gonna have to ace it if he wants to clutch it. He's got a little bit more time to try and work for this plant, but with a minute left on the clock, he actually falls back from the A site, gives the CTs a little bit more room to breathe. This is unfortunately going to hurt him more than it helps him, unfortunately, because of the fact that you've now got Younes working his way back over here towards the long A area anyway. And as he pops right back out, as soon as he's able to catch shox in a fallback maneuver, which Jumpy should be able to engage just by tossing a couple nades in his direction. shox now finally going for the plant, but Younes slowly creeping up, and there we go. He's going to be able to finish that off. So just a textbook flank there from Younes, and unfortunately for shox, not really catching that in time, so it is going to be very easily re-executed there by the members of GreyFace. Some good damage, and a plant comes out from Titan, so it's not the end of the world for them, but now they are going to lose their lead at this point. They're going to be brought into a 3-on-3 round score, and as for the members of Titan now, a little bit of a broken buy for themselves, but they are going to be able to go for another big pick. In that last round, I was saying broken buy, but they are going to be able to go for a buy up this time around. Existence, unfortunately, he was the one that was able to buy the AK last round. Not sure if that was a misbuy or not. I can only assume so based on what we're seeing now, but now he has to go for the PT50, and 4 out of 5 of these guys are going to have rifles for themselves. Younes, of course, with the op as well. And BARBARR pushing himself inside of the tunnels a little bit early this time, trying to see if he can catch anything down there, but no dice, nothing there from Titan at this point in time. We've actually got a very aggressive push from shox to try to work his way down here, and unfortunately a missed shot from Jumpy with his op. He's going to be able to work his way in. He gets 1 kill at least. We can quick to trade it back out though, so they're going to know the push is coming into the B site. No full rotations are going to be needed here, and that will not leave it vulnerable, as I think the members of Titan wanted to have happen here by catching this initial kill or two back over here outside of Monster. But like we said before, shox is really only going to be able to grab 1. He gets some good damage on the Kévin too by bringing him down to 34 HP, so in the long run of things, we're still looking at a very small advantage for Titan, but this will have to come into fruition later on in the round when they actually go for this take, which right now they're walking into a 2-on-4, and Kaboom sort of realizes this too, so he's potentially going to put himself into the tunnels. I think right now he's just hanging out just inside of CT main in case they rotate back down through connector to try to push into B anyway, but he's going to have to move in very, very fast indeed when this take does come onto the A site, but pauf's going to be the early alert system here, putting himself just outside of the bathrooms. He's going to catch 1 and 2 kills, now dropping the bomb onto the floor as well, and this push has fallen short. Where's the push from long? None of this has come in. They're moving so slowly, and they're trying to come in after the bathroom players, but now they've lost the bomb at this point. The peak comes out, Younes is able to time it correctly, and he's going to find BARBARR, but still, now he's just going to get shut down there by Kaboom as he works his way back up from the B site, takes him out, and unfortunately for Titan, that push just wasn't where it needed to be. It wasn't formulated very well. The bathroom push came in way too early, or either that or the long push came in way too late, because they go for this one, and then seconds after this one, then, I don't know, long players are still sitting only halfway pushed up and just sitting there, you know, with their tail between their legs at that point, not with a hole that they could do to press their way back in. So that's a big mistake from Titan. And now again, that's going to be able to cost them not just a take, but another round here too. So GreyFace take the lead. They're going to get a triple op setup here. And now things will get very interesting indeed, as obviously Titan will play very aggressively this time around. pauf is going to open things up from inside the bathroom, gets dinked. He only picks up 1 kill, but BARBARR finds the trade after RpK takes him down. He's going to pick up a 2nd kill, getting pressured, not being able to find that 3rd as yet, but he pops up with the pistol, picks up 1 more before being traded out by Younes, and now it's just Younes. He does have his weapon of choice, armed up with the op, but now he's trapped, stuck in between everybody else. Even if he goes down connector, Kévin is waiting for him there, so we would have to pick up a very, very clutch shot in order to eliminate him, and slowly popping his head out, but a little bit too slowly. Kévin's going to be able to eliminate him. The GreyFace will pick up yet another round, now leading 5-3 over here on their CT side. And for Titan, they've got a little bit more work to do before they can get themselves back into this matchup. They will go for a buy, and again, now they've got a double op set up on T side, so they've obviously got all the money they need to work with at this point, but they're trying to counter out this triple op setup, I would only assume, which GreyFace so far, obviously most of them didn't really get a chance to shine all that well. Kaboom and Jumpy, actually, I don't even think got a kill in that previous round, but Jumpy, he's going to get challenged very quickly here, and oh, a little bit of a team peg comes out there as Jumpy's going to get hit on his way back over here, falling back. Caught out in the open, pauf does catch the kill, but Younes gets the trade on the pauf, and now Jumpy tries to find the response, but he's kind of using his teammate to sacrifice himself for his own safety. He's going to fail out. shox is going to completely whiff that shot, though, as Kévin tries to peek out against him there, and that's a sign for Kévin to hill back for the time being, as now they've got the double op, and they realize it, so they've got to be a little bit more cautious with their peeks. The smoke comes out from the CTs, not the most perfect thing in the world, but it does give Jumpy a small angle to look through. Should he have stayed in that tight corner, but will decide to fall back as well here as the rest of Titan. They're now going to rotate their way back down over here towards the B site, and will make their push in mainly through construction instead. shox is even going to move out from underneath the tracks, and we'll regroup with the rest of his team and make a push towards there. Kévin and Kaboom will have to watch this. Kaboom gets the first stop shot. Now Kévin's going to draw his attention. There's not a push coming in for Monster, so he's going to have to look out, but for the most part, it should be clear. shox will be coming in, but as he looks away, he's going to lose his teammate, but now he picks up 2 more kills. shox finds the trade, but unfortunately for shox, he's left now as the final player left alive, and both BARBARR and Jumpy are on their way. They're not into this site just as of yet, so they're going to have to look for the retake very, very quickly. But shox as well here, nade flying in his direction. He's going to get hit by that drop down to 63 HP. But thankfully for him, both of these CTs are coming out from CT main right now. No presence from Heaven, surprisingly, considering both are having ops. They're just going to work to take him out very quickly. Everybody's going to whiff. They do hit some damage over here on his shox, but there's going to be shox picking up one. Now he's going to find Jumpy. Doesn't even realize he jumped in a pit. He should have seen him there coming back up out of it now, but now he's going to wrap around him, trying to use this angle. He misses his shot once again. Jumpy coming up to him with a pistol, and 2 shots in a row missed by shox. Jumpy's going to be able to clutch it out for GreyFace. They'll once again maintain that lead, growing even more up to 6 points now. Of course, plenty of time left for this defuse, so he's going to be able to grab this. Some good economical damage being done, but honestly, we've been saying this for a couple rounds now, so it's not enough for Titan to get this. They just got to pick up a damn round because they're falling behind so quickly. And if these are the only 3 rounds they're going to be able to pick up in this half, if we don't see any more from them, then GreyFace is going to have too big of a lead for Titan to come back from on their own CT side, and we could very well be looking at a huge 2-1 upset here from GreyFace. So, now going into this one, once again, we'll see the buyout from Titan. Pretty well placed one, just looking at it once again in terms of what it brings with utility and whatnot. Full armor, full AKs, not any op unfortunately, as they just went for that double up setup, but they've got mollies and whatnot to work with, so they're not really missing anything. They didn't really need a save here. They've been left full losing bonus, and again they get the plant, so it makes up for a lot of some of the money that they may not have had after buying from that previous round. So still in a good spot, but combat here probably again going to get started fairly quickly. This pauf inside of the top of Beacon, going to see if he can catch any of these players. Youns though very quickly will dispatch of him. And now finally this is a situation where Titan actually open it up for themselves, and oh, shox! Caught out by Jumpy there, a little bit overpeaked. You can still see his shoulder there as he tries to work his way out, so he's going to get found. That's going to shut him down once again as RpK presses his way out, tries to find a trade. He's going to grab it there as he takes down Jumpy. Getting a little bit over-aggressive, so this reduces GreyFace down to 3 players to take. He's going to come out of the B side, so the rotations need to come in quick. Wheaton way out in the open. So that's going to be an easy kill for RpK to grab, and now the save is probably going to get called here for GreyFace. BARBARR already on his way back to long A, and kaboom. He'll look for exits back over here as they try to aggress into him, but he ends up falling back, not wanting to directly challenge that anyway. So for GreyFace, finally going to be dropping around here. And as we were discussing before, just looking at the money for GreyFace, it's actually not the most solid right now. If they can save these 2, there should be a 3rd rebuy coming out here now from Jumpy. But beyond this, both pauf and Wheaton might be still a little bit too low to go for their own rebuys. Most definitely, pauf is going to be too low. And there's just not enough money in excess, really. We could maybe see a rifle drop from Kaboom over to him, but it's going to be a little bit close. So I think they should still be able to work it out enough to make this a sort of competent rebuy for themselves. But that's all they're going to get here now. If they drop 2 rounds in a row, then they're going to be on very, very thin ice indeed. And now the worst part about this here, too, for Titan, if we do see GreyFace coming out with their 7th point here, is that they're going to reset the losing bonus, essentially. So if they don't end up coming out on top here in this one, then they're going to be right back to square one. If we've been seeing them, too, one of the big struggles they've had is trying to build up that economy, only getting 2 plants out of a total of these 6 rounds before they finally managed to take one in the 7th attempt. It's not going to be too good for trying to build that up. They were still able to buy it pretty heavily, but there was a certain point here earlier on when they're those losing round streaks where they were really struggling to try and afford all of the essentials, and obviously, again, we're forcing it up a bit, but BARBARR, apologies. Catches the first opening shot, catches all these players moving in too, but unfortunately the response from the CTs is not as strong as they would have liked it to be. 3 kills traded out for 2, as GreyFace is brought down to both pauf and Jumpy. Both are trying to work their way back in, and they actually are going to go for it this time because they know what this means in terms of the long game for their economy. If Titan picks this one up, they're going to be on a full eco regardless for the rest of their teammates, so they need to try and work for this. They walk in, but already pauf being eliminated. They haven't spotted Jumpy yet though, and he's going to creep in, finding one onto Youns. Now looking for an additional one. Should have been able to hear shox screwing around back over there in the pit. He's going to try to get the flash. Only hits behind him, though, and he's going to wrap back over. So shox knows where he's coming from. Actually gets team flash. And Existence, where the hell is Existence looking towards? He's going to pick up this kill. Jumpy trying to push in. shox is completely flashed, and he finds the headshot. But as he moves in, there's not enough time. No kid on the CTs. So he's going to have to fall back. He picks up this rifle. Going to try to find one of those ops, but there's no time left. So he's going to have to run away. Saves himself. Can go back in and try to pick up that op if he wants to. We'll see if he can get it. And nope, not going to be able to grab it. He does upgrade to an AK, but that's a big pickup there by Titan now, and unfortunately for Jumpy, no kit. And worst part is, look, he's got one now, and he hasn't spent any money, so I think there was one on the ground somewhere. He just wasn't left with enough time to go and pick that one up. And we should mention, too, that had that round have actually gone through, and should we have seen the defuse, that would have been the 2nd time in a row that Jumpy would have clutched just with a pistol for his team. So Titan actually are just going to take very rapid control of the B site this time. The CTs just tried to go for an all-in essentially on one of these sites, but it doesn't play out at all. They work their way down over towards B, and now they're basically just going to try to hold their own essentially. Jumpy's still got that AK, so I imagine he's going to want to try to keep that into his arsenal, but this is a wiped round. With GreyFace taking the big risk and going for the big 4-man stack essentially onto the A site. The one that was sort of tasked with defending B has been eliminated too quickly, so there's not really a whole lot they can do. They can line up for exits. Titan will be aware of this, so I imagine they can counter it out, but this is going to be a wiped round, and Titan will be picking up a 6-point very, very easily from this point forward. And now, Titan have restored the balance here. This is sort of shifting into a good point where regardless of these 6 rounds being picked up here on the CT side now, this is still, and most importantly about the end of that round too, is we do see the AK going down there as well. Jumpy's not going to be able to save that. They go for their buy-ups anyway, but that could have been a nice, you know, that could have been a nice amount of money being saved, but they would have previously not had to invest it there. So the big problem here now for GreyFace is they have allowed Titan to pick up 6 rounds on T side. They had a really nice streak of shutting things down, but this is still not really enough to call things a competent half for themselves. On that T side, they're really still going to have to shine out in a very large way, and Titan jumping onto the CT side are going to look that much stronger. But at least in this round, Wheaton and Jumpy doing a good job of starting it off. They pick up 3 kills to 1. No trade having happened yet, but there's RpK. He's going to be able to pick up Kaboom. Existence coming into support as well. RpK actually just clearing things out on his lonesome. He found not only Kaboom, but Jumpy in the meantime. So that brings it into a 2-on-2. This nade's going to go in. It connects almost head-on there onto the planter. So that's going to be Existence dropped down to 52 HP due to that nade. And RpK gets hit by a little bit of that as well. He's dropped down to 15 HP. BARBARR is going to find him with the op. And now as they work their way back in, it's only Existence. Existence, to be honest, not really in too secure of a position either. He's got the smoke to help him out. But again, GreyFace very, very slow with this retake as they try to work their way back in now. BARBARR trying to work up. Existence will be right out in the open. But BARBARR not going to connect it. And he can't hit any of those pistol shots either. So they waste a lot of time with this one. Existence might just be able to wait out the time now. He's ducking down. Pauf thankfully finds the kill. But no, again, there's no kit on GreyFace, so they can't defuse it. Oh my god, they had it. And what's worse, oh no! BARBARR goes down too, so they lose the op! And now they're not even gonna have that going into the next round. Oh. That went from great to bad for GreyFace really quickly. That's the 2nd time now that they've lost that round due to not having a kit. Don't be a loser. My diffuser. Alright, so again now GreyFace not really gonna have a whole lot of cash. They don't have that op either because BARBARR goes down. So they're just gonna be on upgraded pistols once again. Pauf's got a rifle, but for the rest of them, they don't even have armor for their pistols. So you're gonna see situations like we just had with Existence there for pretty much the rest of this round. Pauf can maybe do something, but again, they've already waltzed into the B site. I mean, these rounds, it's just been a complete 180-degree turnaround, to be completely honest here for Titan now at this point. There's Pauf who's picking up 1, but Existence comes in, he's going to shut down BARBARR, so it's just Pauf, and now he's got to focus on saving, not really winning out this one. Pops out and Scream does what he does, picks up the 1 top there, shuts down Pauf, and that's going to end it. Titan now with a 2-round lead as we head into the final one, and GreyFace have tossed away such a huge advantage once again. And look at this. So many times. This is 1 time this happened. 2 times this technically happened, and again, rounds both 11 and 13 are brought down to just that one. The 2 players left alive technically in the round before this, where they could have defused the bomb, and no kit being bought up for some reason there. So big communicative issue there on GreyFace once again. Now you can see they're going for it as 3 players buy up the kits, despite them not really, you know, being even too good of a spot to go for it just as of yet. But still, the round score should look completely different right now. It should be the opposite. It should be 8-6. It shouldn't be 6-8. So now for Titan, feeling a lot better, of course, after turning things around to what they were previously. GreyFace had a really good lead going for themselves, but fell very, very short once Titan started to re-pick up their rounds. And oh, Jumpy almost catching the double collat there. Is going to be able to finish off 1, but unfortunately can't find the second one there, but nonetheless brings Scream down to 15 HP. Now Scream's going to be able to move in. He shuts down Jumpy. They're working for this take on the B side, but it's very, very slow indeed. The CTs are doing a good job of holding it off and waiting for their rotations to come back in. Kaboom waiting at pit. Wheaton as well back over by construction, watching out for a play from there. And already Kaboom, he's going to be able to grab 1. Falls back a little bit into his safer position in that pit too. And to be honest here, Titan, they don't have a way in. shox is going to be able to find 1 kill, but Kaboom immediately trades it out. He spots more on the way in too. And remember, Scream down to 14 HP now too as he takes a little bit of heat there from the molly. Now they're going to press their way back up. They're trying to get onto the platform, but GreyFace are ready for this no matter where they come in from. They're going to press in. Wheaton's able to spawn. He gets some damage back onto Existence, reveals himself, but finishes him off in the process anyway. Now Scream pressing through out in the open, and Wheaton just finishes him down. So Wheaton gets the final 2 kills, and that's going to be GreyFace. They at the very least pick up this 7th point before the half ends, but still, with the way that was going, this potentially should have been 9-6. If those 2 defuses didn't go the way they did. Maybe even more than that too, because that potentially could have forced saves on Titan. Because these were all happening, you know, obviously this round was one where they picked up, but right after that, if this one was picked up, this would have reset Titan, and this one probably wouldn't have been claimed in the first place. This one shouldn't have been claimed due to the defuse, and maybe even this one too. So it could have been a completely different landscape had 2 of these rounds where they had the defuse been picked up, and that would have been resets for the Titan economy, but they just don't do it. Titan were able to grow up their economy and keep it going on the T side, and well, that obviously makes it very inconvenient for GreyFace now, because they're going to have to jump onto the T side, where hopefully, again, they're going to be looking a little bit better, but it'll be the same story for the members of Titan now, as they get onto his side, where their team play can come in a little bit more, and obviously for GreyFace, they've got to hope that they've got some really good shots here because they have that individual skill working for themselves, but beyond that, the team coordination still does have some work to do. It was very impressive to see them come out on top with a victory on Train, and we have to hope that they can do this again for Overpass, but it's going to be a tough job to say the least. So, Titan once again. We'll see if they can maintain their lead. This is actually, I should mention too, the first time in both of these maps that Titan has actually had a lead coming off of the first half. In the previous two, it was always 8-7 for GreyFace, if I remember properly. And off of previously, Titan, because they were down, Titan were actually always able to also pick up the pistol round right after that and retake the lead from that point forward. So currently, Titan are like 2 for 2 on second half pistol rounds. We'll see if they can continue that trend here, or now if GreyFace are going to be able to bring themselves back into this and finally pick one up themselves to take their lead back and try to grow up from this point forward. So there's going to be Existence catching the first one over here on the SKYTTEN to start things off once again. The rest of GreyFace making a very, very slow push to get themselves over towards the A site, and I can see this coming once again. They're even going to get a little bit aggressive here to try to catch some of these guys out. Younes rolling out, doesn't even notice that BARBARR is there, but is able to pick him up anyway. Kaboom finding a trade now as a long A push comes in, but look at RpK just jumping out. That's 2 kills for him. Both Kaboom and Jumpy both going to follow this one. And shox, that's a quick shutdown from Titan. They're absolutely going to destroy that pistol round. GreyFace down to 7 points, and Titan now are going to take the lead. Potentially can grow this up to about 11 here, so that'll put us at 7-11. So long as GreyFace doesn't clutch out this second round, but GreyFace haven't really been one to go for like Tech 9 Armor second round buy-ups. They are going to do it this time, just I think out of pure necessity. They don't want to let Titan get that big of a lead against them here, but we'll see how well it goes. Titan realizes well that there is a potentiality that they might have just gone for a save in hopes of going for the third round buy-up. I think they could get the plan here in the second round, and maybe even without that, but we will now be seeing from Titan here default positions being taken up. GreyFace as well, just trying to slowly creep their way up to the site, but with them losing the pistol, they've got to be very careful now as they've gone for a big investment this time, and if they drop this one, they're most definitely going to drop the one after this. That will lead in some very, very bad circumstances. So RpK baiting out the shots from SKYTTEN. They're going to know there's a little bit of a presence coming back over here, but it's just him for the time being too. And if he isn't able to get any information beyond that, he might falsely assume there's a push coming in from here. Thankfully, there's a little bit of action happening over here on long A as well, so they can investigate what's happening back over there. Kaboom, trying to take some shots, but it'll be shox, actually, that finds the first kill over here onto BARBARR. And Kaboom slowly trying to press his way up through the bathrooms. Unfortunately, he gives room for Existence to pick up a kill. But Kaboom with that deagle ripping apart Existence in a close range battle there. Pauf looking for the headshot kill here too, but the rest of Titan just sitting behind cover now. They're going to let them push into them. Now RpK with the rifle is going to pop out. There's 2 kills for him, and he's going to try to find the third one as well here. Won't be able to grab it, but shox walking his way right out there. Finishes things off with the UMP. And Titan again pick up their 10th point here. Not a whole lot of kills coming off. Only 1 is going to be claimed that entire round for GreyFace, so not even really getting that good economical damage they were hoping to. Nor the plant here. So, for the members of GreyFace, they'll have to go for a full save this time around. And for Titan, this should be a walkover. This should be an economy building round. Existence will just go for a P90 buy. That's going to be hold left click and a W as well. And mow over these guys as he's going to get a chance to do this right from the beginning of the round. Everybody pushing into him. He's going to split himself up a little bit here, but here we go. There's 1. He's going to pick that one up. Here comes 2. And not going to get the third as BARBARR trades him back out at the least, but youns is also there. He's going to be able to find that kill on a BARBARR. RpK picking one up, and yep, youns and RpK just finish things up. So there's the 11th point. And again, only 1 player going down that had a P90 investment, so not the worst thing in the world. You've got shox sitting at 7.6k. I think he's actually going to stick with his UMP, so if not, he just will probably toss it over to Existence. And actually, no, there's going to be a gun that's dropped from RpK instead over to Existence. So he's going to get the upgraded gun. RpK, or shox, apologies, is just going to sit on a huge stack of cash now. Same story for Scream, as they're going to look to build up as big of a bank as possible in this first gun round. And now for GreyFace, so far working their way up over here inside of the fountain area. Going to push their way out towards Party from this point forward, but BARBARR will sort of lead the charge with SKYTTEN now, but for Titan, they're not actually going to directly challenge it. I think they spot a couple of these nades and whatnot that get tossed out here, and that's enough for them to fall back. RpK in the meantime, along with his teammate, that's going to be screaming him, able to push their way out through Monster and find an opening kill into Pauf. So the Lurk's been killed. They should know with about 90% certainty now that there's only 2 options now for GreyFace to work towards, and that's either going to be working inside of Connector, which Kaboom is actually going to find a kill there, so that leaves that back open, and unfortunately because of this, Scream is still going to have to kind of chill down over here at the B site, but the pop comes out from shox. He's going to look for some kills once again with that UMP, try to play it close quarters, but there we go. He rolls out. He's looking for 1, but unfortunately looks away, thinking there's going to be a peek from the other side, and because of that, Jumpy is going to be able to catch a trade over onto him, but again, he only has that UMP, so not too big of a loss just as of yet. And now the rest of GreyFace sort of biding their time, trying to figure out exactly how they'll make this push. Jumpy's working with BARBARR to work their way in from the bathroom and short A push, but Kaboom as well, working in from long A. He's gonna go first. Tosses the smokes and mollies in to force players out of positions here. Youns almost decides to directly peek him, but Kaboom is actually gonna catch the headshot. Again, Youns just walks right into that spray pattern, so that's gonna shut him down. Now Existence, he'll get the trade back over here, but he's been revealed, so Kaboom's jumping up. He's trying to catch the kill, but Existence maintains himself. He's down to 12 HP. Finally, BARBARR catches the trade, but now this is going to get put into a one-on-one. BARBARR's only got 10 seconds to try to plant this bomb. He's going to use the smoke to get it down safely, and Scream will just have to hope he can peek out towards him. BARBARR safely moving himself behind the box for the time being, though, and Scream is just going to play behind the semi. A lot of time to work with. I'm assuming there is going to be a kid on the ground, so he's got a little bit more time to work with here as he walks up and should be able to claim that. It's right there, sitting below his crosshair at this point, but BARBARR safely running away. Taking a bit of a risk in this, to be completely honest, but we're going to see the defuse coming out, and it's going to be a race. Can BARBARR get there in time? 3 seconds left. He's got the angle. Oh, and he's going to be able to grab it, so a little bit of a risk being taken there by GreyFace, but it does pan out for those guys, and BARBARR is going to be able to clutch things out there. I think Scream thought, for some reason, that he was a little bit closer initially when he started that defuse than he actually was, so he's out. Going to be able to ring around the rosy, find the kill over there to take him down. And that will be a round picked up by GreyFace now to put them up to 8 points. So Titan won't have a secure lead just as of yet. They will be able to thankfully go for another buy here now, which is going to be fully armed to the teeth once again because they've gone for so many of those saves. You got the off in the hands of Younes, 4 M4s, and for GreyFace, they are actually going to be a little bit more forced when you take a look at them. 2 Galil sitting on pauf and Jumpy, and for the rest of the team, they're up on AKs, but the utility is severely limited here. Only 3 smokes to the entire team, and one of them was just used to clear out bathrooms, so it's a very early smoke, and it's going to affect them when they actually go for the take, and Titan already catching a lot of this presence here too. They put a lot of their emphasis back over here up on the A site. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players in close proximity as RpK's watching out from heaven too, so he's only a short rotation away, but the other 3 should be able to hold easily long enough for him to get up there, and I think GreyFace realized this too as they've moved forward a little bit here, so they're going to try to push some of their players back down inside of Connector, working their way back over there to get in through a construction entryway to get themselves onto the B site, and holding that for the most part here is going to be Scream, who again is actually bottom fragging for Titan at this point. Hasn't really been showing his face all that much in this matchup so far, pulling down a little bit, so he's going to have some work to do. And now, as the combat gets started here, Existence is going to get in a little bit of a battle by Bathroom, but nobody's going to end up beating each other. Now they go for the entry, and again, Titan are ready for this. They start to work their way back down. They knew that this was going to be an eventuality. Scream pushes down. He's going to catch 1 and 2 kills. Jumpy and BARBARR, 2 big ones. Kaboom comes in and finds a trade, but now RpK is down here, and the CT should be able to shut it down, but Queaton rolling back out. He's going to find 2 kills. Pauf picking up 1 as well, but RpK with the USP comes up, finds a trade. Now it's just sitting onto Pauf. Pauf picking up the kill onto RpK, but now we just got 12 HP to work with. The pop flash comes out. It's not going to blind shox, but shox is pushed back. Not enough, though, and shox thankfully is going to be able to finish things off for Titan. They retake the lead, back up to 12 points, getting a 4-point advantage. Losing 4 players, not going to be the best thing in the world, but the big news is that they reclaim the op for themselves. That goes back into the hands of Younes. He's going to have to rebuy his M4, so will the rest of the team, though. They're going to be on thin ice in terms of this buy, as far as this buy is concerned, but they've now broken GreyFace by letting them pick up a round and then reset themselves. We already saw in that last round that they were, for the most part, on the edge with those 2 Galils coming into play. They've got nothing for this round, very little upgrades. The only thing that they've actually bought this time is going to be that the Desert Eagle over here on the suite, and beyond that, nothing for these guys, just default pistols. And now GreyFace again push their way in through short A. 4 players working for that take from there. Titan obviously again lined up with 3 players, a pretty default setup for these guys, but an opening battle is going to lead to 1 kill going either way. Back over there by construction, BARBARR finds RpK, but Scream immediately responds to this, and it's all about basically delaying the inevitable here, hoping they can catch over aggression on the side of Titan. It's going to be shox, but shox manages this beautifully. 1-2. Doesn't get the 3rd kill, and Existence comes in a little bit too late, so he is going to lose his teammate, but now it's just Pauf. And it's the same story for Pauf here, as he only has this little Glock to work with. His Existence will be right around this corner. He pops out, misses that. Now they know he's there, and now it's about just finishing him off. So this is going to be a 13th point easily for Titan. It's good that you mean... Oh, hold on. I might have another kill coming out for Pauf. Scream's actually going to have to fall back there as he's dropped down to 10 HP. 2 digs in a row, but apparently not enough to kill somebody. And it's not done just yet, but he's only got 20 seconds, so regardless of what's going to happen, he's not going to be able to pick up the bomb and go for the plant with him not reclaiming the bomb. There's really no threat at all for Titan. He's going to grab it. He tries to run through, but as he jumps over, it's amazing that he's still alive, and how the hell does he get that kill? 5 seconds left. Now he's got it up. Now he can actually look to save this if he wants to, but Existence doesn't peek him out just yet. Will he actually save this? All right, thank God. Scream kills him. That was a little ridiculous, as he shouldn't have even survived that long. But he manages to make it out. He picks up 1 extra kill, so I mean, like I said, with only one thing being bought that entire round there, and that was just the deagle, the fact that they killed 3 out of 5 of the players is not bad at all, and he almost saves that op as well. But it will be a double save from GreyFace because of how heavily their economy was resetted. So they go for the Tech 9 Armor buy up this time. Not really a save necessarily, but obviously, again, not a full buy round with AKs and whatnot, so they're still going to be a little bit limited. Next round, they should be able to go for the AKs, but here they go now. They're going to work their way into this site once again. shox, RpK, and Scream just finishing it off right from the get-go. Jumpy, Kaboom find the trades, but it's Scream again. He comes out of this one with a 3K, shuts it down from down over there underneath the canals, and that's going to be another round being picked up here by the members of Titan. Losing bonus for GreyFace gets into a point now where they can go for a good buy, but this might end up being it here. Now Titan sits at 14 points. GreyFace, obviously, again, here on the edge as far as their money is concerned. Once again, they've got the buy going for themselves. They should probably, assuming they get a plant, be able to force up onto this one, but then that would leave them with six potentially, that would leave them with 6 match points there to try and work up against, and they've got to be perfect for 6 rounds straight. We've only seen this one other time, and this was on the last half where that was on their CT side too. Their T side has not been nearly as flawless as of yet, so that's going to be a very, very impossible task for them to try and climb up against. The good news is they've got the economy from Titan down to a fairly low point here, where you can see shox again opting to just go for a UMP buy to try and save a little bit of cash this time. They try to restack some on his own there, and also they're going to find the entry, so this isn't the best start here for the members of Titan, and we may yet be able to see GreyFace escaping with this round. pauf as well finds that spray on the screen. He does reveal himself by tossing out a couple shots here, but RpK is going to be able to push out. He finds the trade over onto pauf, and now we're right back into a 4-on-3. Titan need to find an additional kill here to put it back into their advantage, but for the time being, GreyFace, they line up for the 8 take. We'll have to see if anybody's watching out for a push that would come up from Connector. It looks like they've got 1 or 2 players keeping their eyes on this for the time being, but shox in just a few moments can push up on these guys and can be a huge pain in the butt. The big problem is that RpK still way on over on the B site, watching out for a push from that direction. He's going to have to rotate very quickly, and shox as well, with him going for this flank instead of coming up to the A site to help. He is going to leave his teammates out to dry, and there's Existence already dropping to Wheaton. Now shox moving it, not expecting it all though, but oh, BARBARR catches that at the perfect time, turns it around and catches shox out before he can do any damage. And you can even see too there was some hesitation on the shox as to whether he should actually go for take that kill or not, but because he chose to wait a couple extra seconds, he's not going to get any kills at all. Great response from BARBARR to take him down, prevent that flank from happening. And as well, we do see RpK coming up. He picks up at least 1 more kill, but that's all they're going to be able to get now. So GreyFace escape with another round. The money situation for Titan, as we said before, is nowhere near stabilized as of yet, so they're going to go for a broken buy right here. A couple upgraded pistol buy-ups, and, you know, they've got the op in the hands of Younes at least, along with these 2 M4s of Hamas on RpK, and then the 5.7 on the shox. But if they drop this one, they're right back onto their eco, and very well so we could have GreyFace swinging themselves back into this game now. So now again, we'll see some aggression coming out here from the T's. Same thing from Titan too, as they try to push back out, but that gets completely denied here, with pauf and Wheaton finding the first 2 opening kills. RpK and Scream way too overpeaking there. A bit unfortunate that the entire strat from GreyFace sort of collapses on their face, but still nothing they can do about this one now. And now pauf's gonna roll in, catches shox out in the open there. Existence did manage to drop down and find at least 1 of these frags, but beyond this, it's just all kills for GreyFace. pauf picks up 2 more on his way in there for Monster, and now it's just Younes with an op way over here on the A site, so he won't be looking to do any heroics here at the end of this round. Falling way back over here, probably gonna hide over in like playground or something to try and save the op. And if he does do that, maybe we can look, I mean, the rest of the team is gonna have pistols. Maybe we can look at some more damage at the very least being done in the next round, but for the most part, that's going to that's kind of going to conclude the it's kind of going to conclude most of the effort that we can see coming out from Titan to the next round. They won't be able to more than likely claim the 15th point on the 25th round, and GreyFace should be clean to get through it. Another big thing too is with a gun round like this, where GreyFace get through it so easily without losing so many players, it's also going to help their money to start to stack up. We can already see it getting there. 6.1k, 5.8k, and 5.7k onto BARBARR. Wheaton, along with pauf there, is really good for growing it, and now it's going to be able to grow even more off of the hinges of potentially what is going to be a fairly simplistic round. A full save now for everybody on Titan as you take a look. P250 upgrades at most for everybody, and Younes, of course, does have the op to work with, but he's still not going to put armor behind it, no utility behind it, and he only has his USP beyond this, so he's still looking very, very weak, and with his aggressive peak he's going to end up going for, if he's shot first, he's a dead man. Because there's no way in hell he's going to be able to stabilize the op with the aim punch. And misses his shot there, just as we were talking about. Some TV support is going to come out from pauf as he gets aggressive there, and he's going to get dropped down to 6 HP. He does pick up 1, but that's traded out by RpK, so Titan's still not the worst situation in the world for these guys. The problem is, though, is that they've left the A side very vulnerable, and if GreyFace do catch on to this, and they're just going to push right up into that site and try to catch these guys off guard. And Kaboom as well, sitting himself inside a connector, watching out for RpK or anybody else to push towards him. You've got Existence, too, taking up that sort of cheeky position, but For Titan, they've actually been given enough time to rotate, so they're still on that site watching out for it. Existence is going to be able to see the shadow on the floor, so he pops back out. He's going to find that kill up there onto BARBARR. Misses the response once again there, as there's going to be a pop-out, but he finds it on the second attempt, so that's going to shut down Kaboom. And I might have very well been wrong here. Titan may be able to win out this round anyway. They bring it into a 4-on-2. The pop's going to come out. They pushed in from long A. Now Jumpy's going to have to fall back, though, and Wheaton as well taking some damage here. He's dropped down to 61 HP. Now they're going to try to find their way back in, but they're cornered at this point. And now with the open play, Existence has this as well. Him and RpK are just going to finish things off. And Titan now, off of basically a full eco with the exception of that op, they're going to be at match point here. And for the members of GreyFace, looking at their buy, you've got the AK in play over here from pauf. I'm imagining the rest of the team is going to buy up, obviously, but what else do they have beyond this in terms of utility and whatnot? It's actually going to look pretty decent for a majority of their players, but you look at BARBARR, he doesn't have all that much sitting behind him. Wheaton as well, for some reason, is going to pick up the decoy there along with the smoke and flash. So those three big players are going to have to be Kaboom, pauf, and Jumpy. They've got all the utility, and Younes gets very, very aggressive. He gets hit by a molly initially, but is able to fall back, and thankfully there wasn't a big enough pusher coming out for the members of GreyFace. So there's going to be Existence shutting down one of these kills. Another one about to come in here from BARBARR, but he does miss that opportunity. Repiecing to get himself very far pushed up into party. The rest of the team pushing out towards long A as well. They still have pauf here, but again, pauf's not really getting any heat. He's not really getting a lot of that aggression that he was getting in some of these previous rounds, so he's not really going to get hit that hard now for the members of Titan, and he's kind of going to be out of place here, which means if we start seeing more kills come out from Titan, he's not going to be able to support and find those trades, which has been another sort of big issue here that we saw from GreyFace on their T side, is that Titan are making these big pushes, and we're seeing their skills coming out for them, which for the most part aren't ending up getting punished by GreyFace a lot of the time, but they pick up another kill, so they do find a trade for the earlier frag that had happened. It brings BARBARR down to 15 HP now, and Existence at the same time dropped down to 4, but BARBARR misses a chance to take him down as he overpeaks, but a molly comes in, and that's going to finish him back off. Younes though picking up his op shot. He's going to find his second one, looking for the third over here, but he's going to miss it. Nonetheless, Scream pops back out. He's going to find him. Another molly kill comes in, but the flank comes in from RpK, and that's going to finish things off. He ends Wheaton's life and ends this set, guys. 16-10 is going to be the final score in the favor of Titan, and that's going to be a 2-1 set in their favor, but still, for the members of Team Kappa, not a bad game at all for them at all. Not a bad set for them at all either. Taking a map off of Train, almost taking a map over here on Dust 2, and still picking up 10 rounds on Overpass. Very, very capable team. We'll see more from them, hopefully, as we head further and further into this group. But today, it's going to be a victory for Titan, and that is going to close things out for today, guys, on the stream. I believe that's the only match we do have for you guys. So thank you all very much for tuning in. For Europe, I don't think we've got any matches coming up. At least I, personally, am not casting any matches coming up tomorrow or any of the days after. The major's coming up, so a lot of the European teams are not available. But we do have some North American stuff starting tomorrow night as well. That's going to be tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night, I believe. I will be on probably with another caster to do some of the North American StarLadder stuff. So stick around for that, or we'll come back tomorrow for that, and we'll have that a little bit later on in the day. But thank you guys once again for tuning in, and we will catch you next time here at the StarLadder StarSeries Season 14.